I never thought I'd end up guarding a place that felt more alive than any person I've ever met. My name's not important anymore. On the paperwork, I was just Security Contractor 17. The year was 2018, right after the History Channel crew left and before the new owners locked it down even tighter. They needed warm bodies for the overnight shifts, and they were paying triple hazard pay with a signing bonus in cash the same day. I was fresh out of the army, drowning in medical bills from an IED in Kandahar that took half my hearing and all of my savings. When the recruiter said, "You'll see weird stuff, but you just log it and forget it," I laughed. I'd seen worse in war zones, or so I thought. The ranch is 512 acres of nothing, surrounded by mesas that look like broken teeth. There's only one road in and one road out. And at night, the Milky Way is so bright it hurts to look at. The silence, though, that's what gets you first. It's not peaceful. It's the kind of silence that waits. They put us up in a double-wide trailer a mile from the old homestead. Me and my partner Reyes, former Marine Recon, Navajo from Shiprock, worked 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., 4 nights on, 3 off. First week was boring. Coyotes tripping motion sensors, wind rattling the corrals, the occasional cow staring at you like it knew your sins. Reyes kept touching the medicine pouch around his neck and muttering that the land was watching us with too many eyes. Night 9 changed everything. At 2:17 a.m., the entire North Ridge sensor array went berserk. 23 hits in 6 seconds, all moving in perfect formation straight toward the homestead like a military unit on patrol. We jumped in the side-by-side, spotlights on full, rifles across our laps. When we crested the hill, there was nothing but frost glittering on the sagebrush and one set of barefoot human prints. They started in the absolute middle of an empty field, no approach tracks, and walked in a perfectly straight line toward the cliff edge. The prints were deep, like 250 pounds at least, but the stride was over 4 feet between steps. Human legs don't do that. We followed them to the drop-off. The tracks just stopped. No slide, no jump marks, no return prints. Just gone, like the earth swallowed the walker mid-stride. Reyes whispered something in Diné I didn't understand and spat on the ground 4 times. I logged it as possible prank because that's what the handbook told us to write. I couldn't sleep the next day. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those impossible footprints. 2 nights later, I was alone in the command trailer reviewing footage when every single monitor glitched at once. The screens filled with static, then snapped to the same frozen frame. A naked figure crouched on top of the 35-foot water tower, knees bent backward, head tilted 180 degrees so it was staring upside down into the camera. The eyes were solid black. The timestamp froze at 3:33:33. When the feed returned 30 seconds later, the figure was gone, but the inside of the camera dome, 20 feet off the ground and sealed, was covered in greasy handprints and long scratch marks. I called Reyes on the radio. He was on the South Ridge and said he'd been watching the tower with night vision the whole time. There was nobody up there, man. Nobody. I started carrying my sidearm even inside the trailer after that. The last night I worked there, Reyes and I were doing the mandatory foot patrol around the bullet-riddled homestead at 4:07 a.m. The air smelled like ozone and wet dog. We heard whistling, 3 clear notes, high and sweet, the same lullaby Reyes' grandmother used to sing him when he was little. It was coming from inside the ruined house. Reyes froze. His face went the color of ash. "That's not possible," he whispered. "She's been dead 15 years. Then my radio crackled. Reyes' voice came through crystal clear. "Hey, come inside, bro. It's warm in here. I found something cool you gotta see." Reyes was standing 2 feet away from me. His radio was still clipped to his chest rig, mic button not pressed. He looked at me with pure animal terror and mouthed, "Run." Something tall moved behind the broken windows, easily 9 feet, joints bending wrong, skin the color of old bone. It stepped into the moonlight for half a second, and I swear it wore Reyes's face, but the mouth too wide, eyes too large, smiling like it was genuinely happy to see us. We sprinted back to the side-by-side. I floored it doing 60 across the field, headlights off because I was scared light would make it follow faster. In the rear-view mirror, I saw the thing walk, no, glide, out of the house, still whistling that lullaby, arms swinging loose like they had extra elbows. We hit the main gate doing 80. I threw my badge and key card into the dirt and kept driving until I crossed the state line. Reyes quit 2 days later after he found his German Shepherd arranged in a perfect circle of its own guts on his porch in Phoenix. Head pointed northeast toward the ranch. They still deposit money into my account every month. Direct deposit, no return address. I haven't touched a cent. Some paychecks you cash with your soul. I was the lead biomedical technician for the 2020 to 2021 scientific team. My real name is redacted in every document, but you can call me K. We had PhDs in physics, aerospace engineering, biology, 12 of us total, plus a rotating security detail. Our job was to set up sensors in the triangle, the 200-yard patch of dirt between the two homesteads and the ridge where most of the high strangeness happens. We were told, collect data, do not engage, do not go off script. Easier said than done. We worked out of a prefab lab trailer with triple redundant power and Faraday shielding. Night shifts were 4 people. Me, Sarah, geophysicist, Mike, audio engineer, and Brandon Fugel's hand-picked team lead, Brandon. Yes, 2 Brandons confusing as hell. One February night, the temperature dropped to -12. We were running a structured light scan inside the East Homestead bedroom, the same room where previous teams lost terabytes of data, and one guy allegedly saw a wolf made of starlight. At 1:12 a.m., the REM pod exploded with activity, and the spirit box spat out a sentence in Brandon the lead's exact voice. Get the hard drives before they wipe everything tonight. Brandon was downstairs in the kitchen eating cold pizza. We have 4K footage of him chewing, mouth full, never speaking. His eyes on camera when we played it back looked like he was about to cry. 10 minutes later, every laptop, every phone, every GoPro on site shut down at once. When they rebooted, the desktop background on every screen was the same thermal image. The 5 of us standing in that bedroom, looking straight up at the ceiling. The image metadata said it was captured from 42 feet above us. There's nothing up there but rafters and bat guano. At 1:37 a.m., the proximity alarm for the evidence safe in the command trailer went off almost half a mile away. We watched live as the heavy steel door swung open on its own. Inside, empty. Every single encrypted SSD we'd filled over 7 months gone. In their place was one yellow post-it in my own handwriting. Stop recording us. Handwriting analysis later confirmed it was mine, down to the pressure and slant. I have zero memory of writing it. The final straw came 2 nights later. Brandon the lead stayed late to finish reports. At 3:04 a.m., his body cam footage shows him walking down the hallway toward the exit. Except the real Brandon was asleep in the bunk room. The figure on camera turns, looks straight into the lens, and smiles with too many teeth. Then it reaches forward, and the feed cuts to static. When we woke Brandon up and showed him, he went completely pale and said, That's what I saw in my dream. It told me my daughter's middle name, something no one on the team knows, and said if we uploaded the thermal photo, it would visit her next. We wiped every drive ourselves that morning and flew out on the first charter we could book. Brandon still owns the ranch and still runs investigations, but he says the data loss that night set the program back 2 years. I haven't slept without prescription pills since. I was the very last caretaker they hired before they closed the ranch to all non-essential personnel in 2022. 1 man, 1 trailer, 452 acres, and orders to simply keep trespassers out and cameras running. Easiest money I ever made, until the Polaroid started. First one appeared on my windshield the morning of day 5. A photo of me asleep in my bunk, blanket pulled to my chin, taken from the foot of the bed. The timestamp printed along the bottom read 4:15 a.m., exactly 11 minutes after I'd actually woken up that day. I figured one of the daytime guys was pranking me. I installed 4 motion-activated cameras inside the trailer that same afternoon. Every angle covered, IR on, cloud backup. Next morning, new Polaroid under the wiper. Same angle, me asleep, timestamped 4:29 a.m. Again, 10 minutes into my future. The cameras recorded 8 solid hours of me sleeping alone. Doors locked, windows sealed, 0 motion events. By day 12, I was finding 3 or 4 photos every morning, always taken while I slept, always time-stamped roughly 10 minutes ahead of when I actually discovered them. I stopped sleeping. I sat up all night with the lights on and a 12 gauge across my lap, waiting. At sunrise, new stack of Polaroids on the hood showing me exactly as I was. Exhausted, bloodshot eyes, shotgun in hands, staring at the camera that wasn't there. I started driving into town every 3rd day just to sit in a diner full of people and remember what normal felt like. The final night the power cut at 2:17 a.m. sharp. Generator didn't kick in. My phone showed full bars, but no service. I stepped outside with a flashlight and saw hundreds of Polaroids scattered across the dirt like confetti, all facing up. Every single one showed me standing in that exact spot, flashlight beam cutting through the dark, staring down at the pictures. The timestamps were all 2:18 a.m. My watch read 2:17 and 52 seconds. I ran back inside, slammed the deadbolt, wedged a chair under the knob. Through the window, I watched a figure walk out of the darkness carrying my shotgun. Same Carhartt jacket, same limp from the plate in my ankle, same everything. It stopped 20 feet away, raised the gun, and fired point blank into the window. Glass exploded inward. I felt the heat, the sting across my face. But when I blinked, I was still holding the smoking shotgun. The window was intact. My ears rang from a shot I never took. On the table sat 1 fresh Polaroid, still wet. Me standing in the trailer holding the gun to my own head, timestamp 2:18 a.m. I threw everything in my truck and floored it through the gate, tearing the chain clean off the post. I haven't been back since. 6 months later, I moved 2,000 miles away, changed my name, started over. Last week, I woke up to a Polaroid on my kitchen table in the new apartment. It shows me sitting at this exact table, reading this story on my phone, eyes wide. The timestamp is 12 minutes from now. I'm not looking at the clock anymore.